Hello everybody! I am so excited to be setting up for December already. This is my absolute favorite month besides the obvious reason that being the holidays and Christmas. I love having time off at the end of the year. This is the one time of the year that I get to see my family in Puerto Rico, so I always get excited for that. It is also my birthday during the first week of December, and overall I'm just a big fan of the holidays. So, of course, I want to make my December setup very festive. So for the topic, I picked these wreaths of mistletoe or pine along with the red bows. Now you may recognize these wreaths from my sketchbook tour, not sketchbook, well, sort of sketchbook tour, but the video I did on 8 ways to use your sketchbook. I definitely have created this design before, but it was just a little doodle that I did last year and I loved it, and I thought to myself, oh, I'll use it for something later, and 1 year later I still hadn't. So I'm finally dedicating a whole setup to this. By the way, that candle in the corner is from Target. It's from the brand Hearth and Hand. The specific scent is Wood Smoke Cedar, and the reason why I'm mentioning it is because it was, when I first got it and turned it on, it was highly disappointing. It just doesn't make the room smell like pine the way I was hoping for it to do, but it does smell very nice. It's just very subtle. So it does make it a perfect candle for the desk and a candle to work with because it's not super overpowering. Sometimes candles that are better quality and more potent become too overwhelming when you have it right in front of you in a desk. So this has become just my new desk candle for definitely for the rest of the holidays and beyond if it still lasts. Also, I love the tin. Honestly, halfway of why I buy candles is because I like the packaging, and I always think that whenever I run out of the candle, I'm gonna keep whatever container it comes in, and I somehow never run out of candles. I'm gonna make it a point to run out of this candle so I can use this tin probably to store stationery and art supplies. Back to the topic of this video, which is actually bullet journal, not candles. To create this theme, I used quite a variety of fountain pens, as you can probably see. So the first one that you see me use is the Platinum Placer in a Fine, inked with Diaz Archive Black. Now, after doing the line work with this particular color, I decided I didn't really like it. I wasn't a fan of how this first spread turned out, just because of, I still like how it turned out. It's just, I wish I would have picked a more muted color. I like the line work. I just don't like how dark the black is, but I had already committed to it, so I finished this first spread with the same black. However, you will notice that for the next 2 spreads that are coming up, I did change it to brown. Now, that brown, I will use the Platinum Procyon in a medium nib, inked with Campo Marcio Sepia. And as for the green and the red in all 3 spreads, for the green, I used the Jinhao 450 pen with a Goulet extra fine nib, inked with Pilot Iroshizuku Shinryoku. And then for the red, I used the Conklin Durograph with Goulet broad nib, inked with Diamine Firefly, which, by the way, I just used for the first time today because it's from a sample that I got recently, and oh my god, this is like Christmas in a bottle. It is an awesome bright red. I love it. And then it has gold shimmer to it, so it just looks like Christmas. It's great. And then for the calligraphy, which I'm doing my usual calligraphy style, I used the Manuscript Leonard calligraphy nib in a 1.5, and then for the ink, I used the C. Robertson and Company ink in Proud's Brown. And then you'll notice that throughout the spreads, I'm using a lot my water brush. This water brush is just a default one. I don't even know what brand it is. It didn't come branded. I got it in Italy a few months ago, but I love playing around with water and fountain pens. I don't know if you've seen my Inky Tea Time videos, but I do a lot of water and fountain pen drawings in those. But essentially, I just put in whatever I want to be darker. I put it in first with the fountain pen. I let it dry. You don't have to let it dry completely, but just wait a couple minutes. And then I come in with the water brush and I spread that out so that it gives that watercolorish effect. And then I wait for it to dry, but again, not completely, because I do like going in with the second layer of fountain pen ink while it's still damp so that the the ink does spread and blend to the area that already has water. So then I go over essentially the areas that I want again to be shaded, and then I just wait until that's dry and go back with whatever color I'm doing the line art with and go over the lines, or not if you prefer not to do line work. For the calendar, you'll notice I have a weird setup going on. It kind of looks like a periodic table because December has 6 rows of weeks instead of 5 as most months do. I decided to, instead of reducing the size of the squares or instead of splitting squares for certain days to have 2 days in one, to simply move the 2 days from that would be in the last row of the calendar to the top, so that way I still have that full space for each day. And I actually gave myself, in comparison to previous calendars from previous bullet journal setups, I gave myself even more space. I decided to expand the calendar because I always end up with this white stripe on the left side with nothing there that I do use. I do use it for like monthly to-do lists, but I really don't need it. I could put those in the notes section. So I've decided to expand the space for certain days of the week. So I'm expanding Sunday, Monday, Friday, and Saturday, since those are the days that I usually tend to have more to do than Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This is actually the last month that fits in this long-term journal, which worked out perfectly. I can't believe it worked out that well. There will be maybe 1 or 2 leftover pages, but that's it. So I actually used the whole notebook. So I have to change to a new one now. I am staying in my Chic Sparrow Traveler's Notebook. That won't change, still the pocket size, burgundy Mr. Darcy. However, I am changing the notebook. I'm really tired of dealing with the log term. It just bleeds way too much, and although, you know, I work with it and I would just put ephemera on top of the areas where it bleeds, why deal with it if you don't have to? So I'm actually switching to Rhodia for 2019, but we'll talk about that more in a few weeks when I do my new bullet journal setup video. For the last spread, you'll notice I'm not doing a budget planner as I have done in the past few months. Partially, that is because my budget has just gone out the window in this Christmas season. I tried doing my budget spread the way I usually do throughout November, and it was just a mess. I didn't do it. Obviously, the best thing to do to fix that is to actually work on it better and fix it and be better about my budget, but I decided to not stress about it during December. Don't take my example, please. I do not suggest you do this, but this is my explanation as to why instead of a budget for the third spread, I'm doing gift guide, which sounds like the complete opposite. But it will be helpful, and I will actually use it a lot during December since I want to plan out the gifts I want to make for everyone. By the way, let me know if you would be interested in a gift wrapping video. I had that idea a few weeks ago, and I thought it would be fun to make a video showing you how I gift wrap and how I decorate my gifts, because I love getting creative with that as well. But that's all I have for you today. Subscribe if you like journaling videos. We do a lot of that here. And if you're also doing your December bullet journal setup. Let me know what your theme is. I would love to hear all the ideas that you guys had. I always have fun reading those comments. I get a little obsessed with just looking at other people's bullet journals as well, as I'm sure all of you do too. So give me some stuff to look at, please. Anyway, I'll see you next week with another video and have a fantastic day. Bye!